Here are the tests on my 1952 Briggs Ambassador. As you can see, I gave it a mineral clean out. I don't know how much stuff is still further up the trapway, but it'll probably break out when I flush the first cloth. And I set it to the water line. I drew a water line in there with pencil, and it's the same measurement from the top as my green Ambassador, which is how I came to the conclusion that it is supposed to be there. And I put an original Briggs Ambassador handle in, and just that same flapper from the first video. So, let's give it a flush. It has an awesome flush. I've heard people complain that the flush is too short, but if it performs well and it flushes well and it moves waste down the line, I honestly don't see a problem with that. And once again, everybody is entitled to their own opinions. I just don't understand. So I'm going to test a washcloth now. Hope this bag won't blow away in the wind. I'll just put a flapper over it. I wonder if this will be as good of a performer as my green one. I honestly wonder. But the tank seems to be filling pretty quickly. I will pause the video. Actually, there's really no need because it's almost full. But when the tank is full, I will flush the washcloth. Here it goes. Did awesome as expected. I'm going to let some water into the bowl. And now I'll test a grocery bag. There we go. Now I just have to wait for the tank to fill. The tank is almost full, just about to the water line there. So let's give it a flush. I think it'll pass. I'm not the slightest bit surprised. Now, since it passed them both separately, I'm going to try them together. And one other thing I noticed about this toilet but forgot to mention in the first video is how high this overflow tube is. It's just under the height of the tank, and that completely defeats the purpose because the water will start leaking out the handle before it even goes through the tube. What you're supposed to do in this situation is cut it so it's like an inch above the water line, but these people clearly didn't know what they were doing. I mean, chances are the fill valve's not going to fail and flood over, but it's still best to be safe, and I do that when restoring my toilets. So the tank is just about full. Let's see if it can take a washcloth and a grocery bag together. Oh, it's trying to trick me. I don't know if you saw that. You can replay the video if you want, but it took them separately. So I'm just going to retest it and see if it can take them at once. Because taking them separately is the same thing as just doing the separate tests. So I'm not really going to count that as a pass because it separated them and it's not supposed to do that. But if it does that again, I'll just give it a point for being smart and separating them. But chances are it'll clog on this since it was scared to take them at once and took them separately. So I'll wait for the tank to fill and I'll be right back. So the tank is just about full. Let's see if it can take the washcloth and the grocery bag at once this time. Ha! I knew it. Or did I? So, as you can see, it blocked up at the very end. There is a very restrictive part right there. I saw that when I was removing the wax ring, but it knew it couldn't take them both at one time, so it tried to take them separately the first time and pass so that I would give it a good rating, but I saw past it. Now, I'm going to test a dish towel. But I have to let some water into the bowl because that level is really low. So, when the tank is full, I'll be right back. The tank is full now, so I'm going to test a dish towel, and a pencil just fell out of it. So, I sure am glad it didn't go in the toilet. I'm going to try to lay it flat so it doesn't ball up as soon as it enters. There we go. Now let's give it a flush. It did awesome. As you guys may remember, Vintage Toilets Texas had one of these in brown, kind of like my 1981 WaterGuard, and it was not a very good toilet. So just like my 1981 WaterGuard, I believe his was defective, because this is my second Ambassador, actually my third, but I didn't test the first one, and it has proven itself to be a great performer. So now let's test the flush. Got to get my bin over here. I'm going to save as much dirt as I can from going on the patio. I'm also going to let a little bit more water into the bowl. And then I'll do a dirt test. A common problem I see with concealed siphon jet toilets is that some of them tend to leave dirt behind in the bottom of the trapway. That siphon jet isn't directly on the bottom of the trapway, so it just sort of leaves the sand and stuff down there. And I'm not sure how this will do, but my other one did pretty well. So let's give it a flush. Yep. It left all the sand under the siphon jet. But the bull rinse is not bad at all. The bull rinse is 10 out of 10 perfect, but it didn't really do a good job of removing it from the bowl. So overall, this is a pretty good toilet. Most of the time people are not flushing sand, so it should be completely fine on normal use. But it just didn't do well because of the sand sinking to the bottom and the jet not being directly on the bottom of the trapway. Anyway, that's about it. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and turn on notifications. It helps my channel a lot and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.